All right, so welcome to First and Tuna, the West Coast podcast dedicated to helping you love the game of football that we both love. Today, I have a very special guest that I am excited for you guys to learn more about, not just today, but hopefully this year and years to come. He's from the Los Angeles Rams. He hails from Haines City, Florida. This man is a Florida A&M University legend. He finished up with 44 games, 193 receptions, and he needed one more yard to hit 2,600 yards. He clocked in a 4.3940. His last collegiate game, he was HBCU Legacy Bowl's offensive MVP, HBCU legend, FAMU legend, big play Xavier Smith. How we living, bro?
We living good, man. We gotta get on the internet and man tell them people to get those numbers right, man. We gotta tell them people to fix that, man. It would. I think it might have been like 200 receptions, 3,620 yards, man. But 29 touchdowns. We gotta find these people, man. Whoever these people is, we gotta find them, Tuna. And we gotta get them right, man.
Hey, all love, bro. All I gotta say is, if you guys haven't watched this man's tape, like I watched it, and I'm like, at first glance, like no disrespect, but I'm confused because as a uncivilized person when it comes to collegiate football, sometimes like not everybody gets to watch HBCU ball, and then you start learning more about it. You're like, dude, football's football. Like some of these dudes can ball. Exhibit A right here.
Definitely.
Yeah, appreciate you taking time, man. You just let me know you're with the family. So you guys are back in Florida. Haines City, is that where the fam's at?
Yeah. We're in Haines City, Florida.
You just can't wait to get back home. You're not how you adjusting to California life?
I honestly love California, man. It's beautiful out there, the scenery, the people. It kind of reminds me of Florida a little bit. So for the most part, it's the same. The most part, I'm honestly enjoying everything about California. I'm praying that, I start my career and end my career in California, man.
I love it, bro. So my question I like to ask everybody is about food, man. I'm a big foodie, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Florida food versus Cali food that you got to experience so far. What's hitting, what's missing?
I will say I haven't had a bad taco in California yet. I haven't had a bad taco, a bad quesadilla, man. Hey, the Spanish food in California, I love it, man. So whatever they doing out there, they gotta keep doing it. I haven't had a bad Spanish dish since I've been out there.
Dang. Are you where you getting your food from? Are you hitting up the little comidas on the side of the street? You hitting the trucks? You going to restaurants? Like what are you dabbling in?
I kind of do a little bit of everything. I found a couple food trucks. I found a couple restaurants. Like I would say honestly, my favorite place in California, Brother Cousins Tacos. That's
Brother
one
Cousins
of
tacos. Okay.
Yeah, that's like top 5, man. That's top 5, definitely.
That was gonna be my question if you've experienced tacos yet, because most of the country, man, like you can get some Mexican food here and there, but until you go like SoCal, you ain't experiencing it yet.
Yeah,
we a carne asada guy. We a al pastor. What are we?
Al Pastor.
Okay, I see you.
I be dipping and dabbing. I like the carne too, but the Al Pastor, that one hit a little different for me.
It's different. I love it, man. What are we missing though from Florida? Like, what's something that you only really get at home?
Soul food. They gotta get the soul food. They gotta get the soul.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. That's the only thing.
Not our bread and butter out there.
Exactly. That's the only thing I say that's missing, the soul food. But everything else I had pretty good.
Yeah. I was just out there last week and I had. Are you a burger guy? You like burgers?
Yeah.
Bro, Easy Street Burgers. I just went there last week.
Hey, I went there.
Did you? Would you get you double or triple it up?
I had the double. I had to get the double. The single too small, so I had to do the double. I had to do the double.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're locked in. We went there. I was with my lady last week.
Yeah.
And, it was good. I had it, and I'm like, babe, don't judge me. I ordered one to go.
Yeah.
I doubled up.
Soon as you said burger, that's the first place that came to my mind. Easy Street. That's the best
That
burger I
place is
ever had.
so good, man.
Yeah, that's the best burger I
I'm
ever had.
I might have to agree with you. So hey, it's got the Xavier Smith stamp of approval right there. Easy Street Burgers. My
Yeah.
before we get into like the about like your life story and everything, man, I got one question that like in my little bit of research popping up on your like pre-draft stuff.
Hmm.
They said you did the field testing at the combine with no gloves. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's why, and you did well. Like I think you
Yeah.
maybe dropped one. They said.
Yeah.
Did you just like want to ball out? Like how did that happen?
Honestly, I thought they was gonna give us gloves. So I left my gloves at home. But I was just like, when I work out at home, I work out with no gloves. When I work out like with my friends or like even when I was in college, I practiced with no gloves. Like I did everything during practice with no gloves in college. So when I didn't have no gloves, I'm like, I've been doing this already. So
Dude, that's
I
so
wasn't
sick.
nervous. I was prepared. But nah, that wasn't on purpose. It just went like that, and it still worked out for me though.
That's it. No, clearly it worked out. Like I read that and I had to do a double check. I'm like, did this man do this on purpose? Like just showed up.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna show y'all what this is about.
Nah, it wasn't on purpose, but I guess it was a good look for me.
Dude, it's a great story. Like I think you should just start telling people like, yeah, I just want to stand on business. This is what I'm
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, man.
Nah. So you talk about back home, man. I'm glad to see that you're back home spending time with the family. I'm sure they miss you those long
Def-
months you spent out here in SoCal. Growing up, Haines City. I've only visited Florida one time. I've been around like the Tampa area a little bit. What's life like growing up there? How's the family? Talk to me a little bit about that, man.
just growing up with my mom, single mom. She raised four of us. She did it by herself, man, and just seeing the hard work that she had to put in to give us a way to be successful in life. And for me, I just kind of took that a little personal. It's like I see all the hard work, I see the struggle, I see the perseverance that you show. So it's only right that I pay her back, by giving it everything I got with whatever I do. And football was just a path for me to kind of, create a lifestyle for us and provide that financial support for us that we kind of didn't have growing up.
Dude, that's we hear this all the time. Like fans are infatuated with that. I hate that phrase, that rags to riches type story,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like that, hey, I came from the bottom, now we're here type thing. But in a lot of people don't really get to hear what goes into that. I
yeah,
read a little bit about it, and I definitely want you to speak on it a little bit because single mom household, that's something that like I'm not unfamiliar to as well. We get that a lot. I'm born and raised in Stockton, California. It's like middle of California basically, and get a lot of that out here. And I got a huge amount of respect for anybody that can go through either the JUCO route or is away from football for a few months or a year like you were, and get
yeah.
back to it and succeed.
Right,
You talk about your mom grinding, and then after high school, I know you jumped straight into work.
right,
Like
right.
I'm sure you want to get help out with bills and stuff, but then you came back to
Yeah,
football, bro. Like
yeah,
how did that whole thing transpire? Because I've known so many dudes that once they step away from football and you start making a little bit of bread, like it's hard to go back to it.
yeah. Like that's kind of how it was for me. I remember I had a coach. He was like, "Man, when you gonna go back and play?" And I had friends around the neighborhood like, "Man, you got it. Like you got to go back and play." Now I remember telling them, "Man, I'm done." But it was just my mom. It was my mom consistently pushing me to go back to school, and then she kind of went behind my back and applied into school for me on my behalf.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. So I ended up getting an email from FAMU, and they was telling me that I could go through Summer Bridge, which it's a summer program. I got to pass all my classes in order to be admitted into school. And I saw that email, and I remember telling her like, "I'm gone." So, for me in my mind, I was kind of done with it, but for her, I think she was just like, nah, I got to get him back in school. So honestly, just having my mom pushing me to get back in school. And once I got back in school, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna play football. That was no question about it.
Yeah, because you got family ties to FAMU, right?
Yeah, my mom, she went to FAMU. My brother, he graduated from FAMU. My mom graduated from FAMU. And now both of my little sisters, they enrolled in FAMU right now.
Oh, little sisters are there right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, congrats to the Smith family, man. Just a
definitely,
FAMU lineage,
definitely. You know, when my nephew
dude.
grow up, we pushing him to FAMU.
Just a whole bunch of rattlers, bro.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
The that first year at FAMU, so sit with the family tree. Your brother was there. Was he there for 1 or 2 years with you?
He was there for 1 year with me.
Okay, so getting a little bit of like the ropes of like what the program's like, having a brother there. Talk to me a little bit about being at FAMU. We're trying to push heavy on this channel's HBCU coverage. Now that I've
Yeah,
gotten a chance to meet Miss Rashida and her team, she always tries to sign one HBU player every year. There's a whole amount of coverage that needs to be done on HBCUs, and I'm
definitely.
happy to try to provide that. What was life like going there compared to like what you think another university might be?
Just the culture, and I say that because you know we have things called Set Friday where everybody in the school they may miss class to go to this event, or you know, like a lot of people they don't even go to the cafeteria. Like during it's like from 11 to 3, the whole almost the whole school in this one particular area, and we just bonding with each other. We having fun. Then you have game days where you had a marching 100 performing at halftime. You know, the band and being on campus. You have things like Mr. FAMU and Miss FAMU, the Royal Court, and just having that that support system that's like a home away from home where the lunch ladies, they may call you nephew, you may call them auntie. Y'all never met before you got to yeah, like we never met before we got to college, but it becomes that family. It becomes that you just build that bond over time. And like I say, I still communicate with so many people back from FAMU because now it's like they are part of my family. I'm a part of their family. So it's just small things like that just kind of take it uh, a little bit further than what you may experience at a different college. And the HBCU coach is just it's just was a time. It's just a time of my life. Sometimes it's hard to even put it into words because that's the type of environment that you have to experience, and it's not really more so told. So, but I loved every minute that I spent that family.
That pride comes through, man. You speak on it so elegantly. Like,
Yeah,
I appreciate that insight,
yeah,
man. Like the most, I think the most non HBCU people, like let's just say it, most white folks get to experience HBCUs, especially on the West Coast. Is
yeah.
like the marching bands. Like I have no ties to HBCU, but I'll say I already know the marching bands are the best in the country. I don't care what school it
The best,
is.
the best. I'm hoping to get the marching 100 to perform at a Rams game. That's something that I've been thinking about for a while. So just trying to,
Dude.
yeah, getting my foot in that door first, and then I want to kind of talk to some people and then kind of work that through.
Love that, man. Love to see it. I can see how your mind's working on trying to build connections. That's awesome. The
Yeah,
so for people who are still unfamiliar with the game, the reason why I speak so highly of Xavier and what he's done, just some of the things that he's done already. Like I said, one game in particular, I got to ask how you felt when that game ended. You have 4 touchdowns against Delaware State. You already knew that question was coming,
yeah,
huh?
yeah.
It's man, you hit a two tutty game. Great. It's like you talking about it for a week. Three, that's ESPN. Before, talk to me about how you felt, bro.
I was just in the zone, and Coach Simmons, he believed in me more than anybody did up until that point. So it just came upon a time where he was kind of in the zone, calling plays, And then once I got a few touches and I got into the end zone a few times, you kind of like all football players know once you get into that zone, you kind of in that zone, and it's very rare that once you get into it, you could come out of it. So for me, it was just kind of getting into that zone, but also sticking to the basics, knowing knowing what got me up to that point because I know how I prepared that week leading up to that game. So I went like from the beginning, just going into the game confident, and then instilling that trust in my coach to be able to, when it was time to get in the end zone, just giving him the confidence that he could trust me to make those plays when it was time to make them.
Some of the plays that you make, Steve Smith talked about it last year when you're coming into the draft. The body control, attacking the hands, that's all craft that you got to work on.
Right.
Did you ever feel as a quote unquote undersized wide receiver at 5'10"? Did you ever feel you had to work harder than maybe your teammates, had to work harder than other guys in the conference to develop these traits and stand out? Or does this stuff just kind of come naturally from like you said, mom's work ethic?
Yeah, a little bit of both, but I never tried to compare myself. Like I always kind of took what other guys was doing and I implemented into my game. Like just growing up watching guys like Julio, watching Randy Moss, watching Antonio Brown, watching Steve Smith. Like growing up, I watched those guys and I watched how they played the game. I watched how they attacked the game. And I kind of gravitated, like, as I got older and I transitioned to wide receiver, I kind of gravitated to the smaller guys like a Tavon Austin, Antonio Brown. And I just saw what made them stand out. So I just always tried to kind of take what they was doing and see if I can implement it into my game and then take it to another level as well. Because I see what works for them and I see it works for them. So, if I knew if I put that same amount of work in, I studied, I prepared, then I knew I could get the same outcome regardless of the size of, just playing bigger than my size.
I did it with quotations for undersized wide receivers because I hate that. I heard it myself playing. Like I played like 1 year at Humboldt State, and just like you, I was scout team MVP. So we share that, bro. I'm an athlete
Yeah,
too.
definitely, definitely.
um, it bothers me because like you have there's so much noise coming into the draft about HBCU player level of competition, height. But it's like football is football. Like how many times has it been proven over and over and over in the league that if a dude can ball, he can ball. It doesn't matter where
Def-
he's coming from.
Definitely.
So that's why I gravitated towards you, watching your film, man. Love your game. And similar to speaking of that same thing, like you talk about brotherhood at FAMU. I'm not sure how much in touch you are with some of these other guys, but you got some alumni, you got some teammates, bro. Like FAMU was putting out NFL products. Marquise Bell over at
Definitely.
Dallas. Isaiah Land looks like he's making a home in Indy. Your boy Jeremy Musa just signed with Tampa Bay. I mean, the list goes on. Terrell Jennings, Marcus Riley, Isaiah Major. How often do you get to talk to these guys and share experiences? Or you kind of look at their experiences and like, man, like we're at FAMU now we're all making
Yeah.
our own journey right now.
We talk often. I may talk to Isaiah a little more, and then we was just together in Tampa, just enjoying the Fourth of July together. So we all try to stay in contact because we all was teammates, and like I can't say like talking to each one of them guys. Our mindset was the same, and it was like it don't matter where we at, we gonna get to where we going, and practicing and competing with those guys, going against those guys on a daily basis, and just us competing and wanting to get here. That's just a testament to why we are where we are right now because of the work we put in, the competitive nature that we had going against each other, and then just believing in ourselves. You know, from the beginning, like when we first got to fam. So that's just a testament to the work and everything we did together to get here.
How do you How do you stay honestly like with a super positive outset? Because there's so many times when I'm like looking at your story, bro, that like if finishing out of high school, you're playing running back, you kind of out of position for where you are now. Didn't get the best opportunities to showcase. Got like no offers. You're working at it was at Amazon, right? You worked at Amazon
Right,
for
right. I
almost
was
a
at
year
Amazon. Yeah,
away from football, and then to go through the process pre-draft, HBCU, and now like you and all your boys are like in the league. Like you guys are
yeah.
starting to make some noise. How do you stay positive all through that when you and I have probably known a lot of people that have like given up or quit or doubted themselves?
For me, I can honestly say it came from my mom though. It stemmed from my mom. Even when we was going through our hard times, she always kept a level head. She always stayed positive. So now that I'm older, I realize our situations was a lot harder than we knew. But she never showed that because of her mindset, because of the way she went about her business. She stayed positive. So in our eyes, we probably thought we had the world. But in reality, we probably didn't have the best. But that's why I say like it just stemmed from her. I saw her persevere. I saw when things weren't going well. I saw her keep pushing, and for me, it's like the mindset of it. It always gets greater later. Like this just a season or this just a moment, but this moment shall pass, and eventually you'll get to where you're going as long as you stick to the route.
Man, you dropped a line there that I love, and I'm gonna quote you on it. It'll always get greater later.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely.
It's not it's super like commendable, man. Like honestly, being able to stay positive, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more when we're talking about trying to make crack the 53-man roster, but like the experience for players like yourself that have gone through HBCU versus what maybe they go through in some of the Power Five conferences. Do you see more of a spotlight switching towards like schools like FAMU, or do you feel like there's still a lot of work to be done there?
I feel like this spotlight is. I wouldn't necessarily say switching, but I think people are starting to take notice and just kind of opening the eyes that not only FAMU but HBCUs produce good athletes, and you know, like it's all about an opportunity. I think guys are getting opportunities. It may not be a draft pick. It may not be first round, second round. It may not come like that, but as long as you get that opportunity, make the most of those opportunities. And I think, eventually, the more guys make the most of those opportunities, the more opportunities will present themselves. So I think as of right now, they are looking at it a lot more. And I think, you know, we'll continue to get those opportunities, and guys will continue to make the most of the opportunities that we're receiving right now.
When I was looking at your teammates that came out of FAMU, and I'm looking at other HBCU players getting their chances too, I'm like, all you guys need is just a shot. Like, I think
That's
the
all.
mentality you guys had is like, hey, as long as a FAMU boy gets a shot, like just let me in the door. I'm gonna do some work,
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
dude. I love it. And then I'm gonna transition into professional life. I ordered something. Give me 10 seconds. I got something to show you to
All right,
celebrate your work. Give me 10 seconds. Give
definitely,
me 10 seconds. I got
definitely.
you. I had to find a shop in Florida to send this, and it got here literally 5 minutes ago. I couldn't get a hat in time, but I was able to find a FAMU flag.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I love it.
So this yeah, so this is now officially a Rattlers household.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we having a link up at a game, bro, I'm bringing this down. I'm
definitely.
having
I got
FAMU
you.
legends sign this thing.
I got you, man. I got you. Definitely.
I do gotta give a shout out to Lady Liv, man. Lady Liv Sports Agency. When you were just making that decision on who to work with, coming to the draft on your representation, what ended up being that deciding factor? Because not everyone's gonna choose a black woman-owned agency.
Right.
That's special today. Like what helped you make that decision pre-draft?
Just the the way everything was well put together, the way I felt as though she would fight for me, she would support and just go all out for me, and it kind of reminded me a lot of my mom and the characteristics that my mom had. So when it kind of came to making that decision, I was kind of like, I feel comfortable with it. My mom felt comfortable with it. We both met with them, and I just think the presentation and everything that they kind of brought to the table just felt right at home for me.
That's solid, man. Yeah, she from my conversation with her, my other conversations with her, just seems like she puts the man first before any business, before any like football involved. She puts the man, like the person first. Like
Yeah.
has there been like a shining example of like your move to California where you sat there, you're like, man, thank God for Miss Rashida and her family, man.
Yeah, a few times. A few times.
We'll leave it at that, man. Yeah, leading up to the draft, so we like the casual fan gets to watch like the spotlight, like the round one guys and everything. Now everybody gets to see what happens with the later round guys, the undrafted free agents. What's that process look like for you? Like 7 rounds come and go. Are you worried about phone calls? Did you know you Los Angeles was interested? Like walk me through what's that process like?
I honestly didn't know how interested they were, but I had a coach who was working on the staff, KJ Black, and I remember he just consistently called me. He consistently called me and just told me, just trust it, like, because I had other teams. I won't mention, but I had other teams, and then they were offering a lot more and everything, but I just trusted that he was putting me in a great situation. So he told me it's a great opportunity. They're gonna give me a chance to showcase what I could do. It's a great organization. It's well rounded. It's well put together. So for me, I just trusted everything that he told me, and he sold it well. So and it's really been probably a little better than I expected it to be, even from the phone calls that we had together. So the weather did play a part. I will say that the weather played a part. So it was just he made it feel as though it would be a home, and that's what it's been so far for me. So I honestly thank Coach KJ Black, and then I just thank the Rams organization for trusting KJ and then trusting me in order to come and just give me a chance to showcase what I could do.
How lucky are we in LA to have Xavier Smith because of KJ? Shout out to KJ, man. That
Yeah.
making that switch over here, like getting used to that system. And you talked about taking stuff from other people's game, implementing it into your own. Now you're with the cream of the crop. Like you're playing alongside someone like Cooper Cup, who just 2 years ago and offensive MVP, Super Bowl MVP. You know, what's been some of like the biggest things you've taken from his game, or like he's like put you on game just in your short time in LA so far?
The mentality and then the mindset of you know studying, um, just preparing more so without the physical abilities. You take away the physical abilities, and that kind of takes a guy from average to great. So just understanding the preparation that goes into preparing to go out and perform. So the way I remember, it was a time he told me, he was like, I can tell what the defense is doing by the way the defensive end is lining up. And something so simple, like a lot of people can't do that. And a lot of people really don't understand how well you have to know the game in order to dissect the defense in that manner, in that order. So like for me, that was the one thing that clicked, and I was like, he is different because guys not really studying film the way he's studying film. Guys not dissecting football the way he dissecting football. Guys not looking at the bigger picture as to where he looking at the bigger picture. It's not about his skill sets because the skill sets gonna take care of themselves. His abilities, his quickness, his speed, like that take care of that is gonna take care of itself. But when you have the knowledge of the game, nobody can take that away. And now I'm one step ahead of you because I know the game maybe a lot more than you know it. But then I also have the physical abilities to back it up when it's time to go against whoever I'm going against.
Along with speed, along with strength. They're like, yeah, if you get Cooper Cup's like study ability, man, that's a scary combination.
Yeah,
The and not to say you didn't have study skills already. I know you talked about it. I watched an interview with Steve Smith. He guys spoke on that. That his
yeah,
advice for biggest growth would be how do you study? Like it's one thing to study, but now you got to be like a second job and
definitely,
just watching film. Do
definitely.
you? I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, man. In your first year, you got a year under your belt now. How do we feel we've grown as a professional, like watching film and preparation, and just staying ready? Because that's your
Yeah,
job. Like
yeah.
right now, it's just to stay ready.
I definitely grew a lot, and it just like I said, it's a testament to really Coop and guys ahead of me, just understanding what it takes to actually be a pro, what it takes to actually be in the NFL, and just taking that and adding it to my bag, adding it to my game, and just trying to prepare the way the top guys in the NFL prepare. Because I feel as though preparation breeds confidence. So that's where it all stems from, and just knowing how well I prepared, knowing I'm working, knowing I'm getting better with my craft, but also like you said, studying the film, studying the playbook like it's my second life. That's what's gonna kind of get you over that hump and that next level. So for me, that's why I feel like I've grown the most. Just building that confidence by the way I prepare on a daily basis.
Oh, I love it, man. Yeah, you could tell you put in the work. You speak about it so confidently, and like as much as McVay's system and his offensive mind, like everyone loves like speaks highly of McVay and his whole system
Definitely,
and the whole
definitely,
front office.
definitely.
But one part I feel like doesn't get enough credit is Coach Yarbs. Like, come
Yeah,
on, that wide receiver
yeah,
room is like just consistently great for some reason.
definitely,
Look
definitely.
who's there! It's Coach
OG,
Yarbs, baby.
OG. Yeah. Hey, he. I feel as though he I wouldn't say he shy away from the credit because I think he knows what he's producing, and I think everybody in the building kind of can see what he's producing. So I think he
Yeah.
kind of shy away from it himself, but deep down he know because he walk around the building with that confidence, and like when you have a coach who can bring it out of each one of his players and can take each player to a different level just by their energy. I don't think I ever seen Coach Yards have a bad day. So it's like, how can I go in the building and have a bad day? And that's why I say a lot of what's going on. It is a testament to what Coach Yards brings to the table.
It's infectious, man. When you just
Yeah,
constantly positive. Does he? I hear he be smacking people's chest though with the pads on. To be hit.
yeah. He do a lot, man. He do a lot, man. You will have to get him out. Like sometimes he'll get back there. Like when we doing drills, he'll start throwing it, and once he get in his zone, he in his zone, man. He in his zone. Like that's a great dude, man. That's a great coach. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited for the day. I don't ever I mean as a Rams fan, I hope he never leaves. But that's a man where like you want to see him get every opportunity that he
Yeah,
wants out of
definitely.
his profession because he's done such a good job, man. How has that transition been for you? Like just I know we talked about lifestyle, California to Florida, but now transitioning into this new system, new language, new just being a professional. You got any favorite takeaways or moments from your now that you got a season under your belt?
I wouldn't say it's any favorite one because if I would, I say that my favorite would be the next moment or the next, you know, the next moment. That'll be my favorite. But as for right now, just sticking to the plan, trusting the process, continuing to learn, continuing to grow, because you never arrive. You're never at your destination until you hang up the cleats. So for me, it's just continuing to learn and continuing to grow, watching the guys in front of me until it's my time to be that guy who's in the front and continuing to grow and just better my craft each and every day.
Like I mentioned earlier, like the way you're having such a positive outlook, despite like you've had so many roadblocks, like it's commendable.
Yeah,
Like all you need is just that opportunity, and you're gonna knock that door down, man. I love
yeah,
that. The
yeah.
Yeah, you kind of touched on what some of my final words, like final questions were for you, but I do want to give you a chance. I keep seeing you on the Rams Instagram. You're doing, you're part of the community service, the community outreach programs. Talk to me a little bit about some of the outreach you and the Rams have done. If you got some favorite things you guys have been locking in with in LA.
Uh, we did a few things, but I say my favorite was probably the football camp that we did. It's
Yeah,
just for me just working with kids, man, and seeing that little kid, he's dreaming and he's wishing to get to that point because I remember when I was that kid and I knew how I would feel if I had an NFL player just be able to come talk to me or be able to give me encouraging words, be able to tell me, I can do it, I can make it. So I know what that'll do to a young kid, man, growing up. And like I always say, like that's the future of, America. That's the future of football. That's the future of the NFL. So it's like I feel as though that's where it comes into why I like pouring into the younger generation because, they the ones who come in right after we done.
and that impact of like you just even like being able to say hi to an NFL player for a kid, dude,
Right,
that can change their whole course
right,
of like their
right.
life. That can just give them motivation maybe they didn't have before.
Yeah. So that's what
So
it is for me. That's what it is for me, and that's why I kind of try to do it every chance I get.
I love it, man. I love that you're able to recognize that. It's not everybody gets to like live in the moment and like appreciate the work they're doing.
Yeah.
Um, I know you guys are gonna keep doing that in the off season. What has off season been like for you, man? You got like your routine down, body feeling good.
Yeah, I feel great, man. I'm just ready to get back to camp. I've been studying, I've been working, I've been training this whole off season from February all the way to now. So I just want to just get a chance to get out there and compete with the guys, and I know those guys are excited for me as well, just as much as I'm excited for myself. So I just want to get a chance to get out there on that field and compete with those guys, man. I see how hard, they work, and I see how hard, the grind, the struggle through a grueling season. So I want to be a part of that. I want to contribute, any way that I can. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get out there. So this all season, that's been my main focus, doing whatever it takes to get out there on the field and compete with the rest of those guys on the team.
It's just yeah, whatever it takes, man. Like Coach McVay said, the work works. Clearly, you putting in that work, bro.
Definitely.
I kind of I had two last questions. I kind of combined them into one since you have spoken on it a little bit. Um, so you when you interviewed with Steve Smith last year, you were kind of at a loss for words when he asked you if you ever look back at how far you've come so far because you've mentioned the journey's not done yet. Your favorite moment's
Right,
the next moment,
right.
but now that you've got like, do you ever talk about with your FAMU brothers or just kind of reflect with your mom family like how far you've come so far? Combined with just being able to have this positive mindset, like you ever get a chance to reflect on it, and like how do you just feel about the journey so far?
Sometimes because they talk about it, like my old teammates. Like I said, we was just in Tampa. They kind of talk about it like, man, you was a walk on, and they say stuff like that. But like it's me. Me is just. I guess I'm always just looking ahead, and I always say I probably won't reflect on it until my career is done, and until I'm just done playing football and I hang everything up. I probably sit back and be like, man, look how far we came. But right now, I kind of just live in the moment, enjoy all the moments. But talking with my family, talking with my old coaches, talking with my friends from back home, from back at FAMU, they constantly remind me. So I do get a chance to kind of reflect on it, but at the same time, I kind of just keep pushing, man. I just keep pushing. But I'm definitely proud of myself because I do know how far I've come. It's just I'm looking at where I'm trying to go.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you. I took some notes when I was like kind of looking at some of the things you talked on, like living in the moment, but you're always ready if things change, and that's spoken. That's something we can kind of connect on, like having a strong mom, like during childhood, like raising you, like that's where that comes from, man. So I got a lot of
Definitely,
respect for that.
definitely.
Um, well, hell, man, I know you're with family. I mean, we've been talking for like 40 minutes or so.
What's up?
I appreciate your time. I'm gonna send it off this way. So Rams kick off preseason August 11th, home against the Dallas Cowboys, where I'm confident you're gonna be seeing big plays. Xavier Smith. I got one last question. You already got that first touchdown celly in the bag? Or are we still thinking on it?
Yeah, we gonna just display it. We won't say too much. We just gonna display.
Hey, you need. Hey, you clear. You can tell I can dance, bro. You need help? You good?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Nah,
straight?
I got it. I got it. But we definitely got plans, man. We got plans.
Nah,
Definitely.
I love it, man. No, we're excited. Yeah, excited for camp, man. It's gonna be great for you. And like I said, August 11th, that's gonna be the first time we're watching big plays on the field with the Rams this season. You got any final words? Send us off for any like FAMU alum, Rams fans. Anything you want to say, bro?
I just love them, man, and it's about to go down. It's about to go down.
I love it. I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Xavier Smith.